Minosis Gathers Hope by Christine Sokaymoh Frederick, May 20th, 2022. Scene, the first begins with a prologue of the 4 directions, dancing, and the introduction of who they are. Scene 1, the way we like it.
Often in the summer months, Minosis stayed with her Cree grandmother in the city for weekends at a time. It wasn't babysitting. Kokum, her grandmother, would say,
"We'll have a weekend guest." That was the way her grandmother liked it.
The visit would always begin with Kokum taking Minosis, or Minnie, as she was often called, to the mall for hot dogs and chocolate malts. Then she would take her to get candies, coloring books, chocolates, and comics that would keep her all weekend.
She would let her stay up as late as she liked on those nights. And before bed, Kokum would always say,
"Minosis, brush my hair. Your tiny fingers feel so good. I hide. Thank you."
But it was a rule on Saturdays not to be out of bed before noon so Kokum could sleep in.
So Minosis read her storybooks all morning, and occasionally and quietly she'd sneak into the kitchen for a pre-brunch snack.
They always did these things, and that's the way they liked it.
This time though, Minosis was as upset about being left there for the whole summer.
Her mom had to go up north for work and wasn't allowed to take family.
So there was Minnie in the spare room, lonely and gloomy, reading a favorite book.
Scene 2. Kokum enters, picking up a book with elves and fairies on the cover.
"Minosis, what is this?"
It's a fairy tale book.
During the next speech, the dancers, 4 directions, embody the little people and come into the scene to listen to the storyteller. They remain invisible to Minosis and create various mischief, moving props, poking Minosis or undoing her braids, recreating moments from the story, and responding with humor, but in silence. However, Kokum does recognize them and slyly offers them little gifts, like tobacco, candy, and colorful ribbon.
Ah, the little people. Have I told you the tale of when I saw one? I found a deep but narrow hole in the ground. It was out in the bush. I don't mean a nice shrub with blossoms. Out of the city, out on the land. One sunset in the sparkling light, I caught a glimpse of one from the tribe of little people. She had clothing from Mother Earth in leaves and moss, feathers and such, and she would have blended in, but she could not escape her own silhouette in the sunset. I saw her, this little person, walk through and over the grass to the hole and slowly disappear as she shimmied down into it. I was so surprised by what I saw that I ran home, but the next day I returned with a long string and a weight at the end. All I can say is that hole was deeper than all the string I had, and I would have been surprised if the hole had no bottom in this world. I went back again and again. I kept the secret until I asked your Chapan, your great-grandmother. I remember Chapan being so warm and light when she talked about those days. She had a real connection to something special. She talked about the colors of the 4 directions, the yellow of the east, red of the south, blue of the west, and the white of the north. Teachings of the medicine wheel, that no matter the issue, they always seemed to help me understand myself and the world. The little people, she told me, are the tobacco boys who taught our ancestors how to harvest tobacco. Her Chapan had been visited by one. She called her Pepakoseamo. She brings hope. She shared the first medicine and taught Chapan about wild tobacco, neka'new'ak. It is through the teachings of tobacco that we connect to the Creator. It is why we use it in ceremony and for protocol. She also told her stories about the little people. They have tribes too, you know. Some are helpful, some hinder, but they all love mischief and play. And boy, do they like shiny things and candy. If you ever want spiritual help or guidance, you can offer tobacco to an elder or to Mother Earth on the south side of a tree. The little people say birch is always good.
Scene 3. The little people prompt and urge Kokum to get Minnie to go outside to play, showing off their own shiny ribbons. Kokum gives them a little acknowledgement, but without Minnie seeing.
Minosis, go outside. It's a beautiful morning, the best for a new beginning. The light will make you feel better and improve the way you see things. Go meet those new kids who moved down the street.
Kokum tilted her head back and her lips forward, moose lips in the direction of the house.
How do I tell Kokum they'll hate me, just like the kids at school?
No shilly-shallying. You're staying here all summer, so the sooner you go out and make friends, the sooner you'll have fun.
I don't like that dog next door. He's always barking at me. Why can't I just stay at my house? I can look after myself. I know how to make lots of sandwiches. You could visit and I could stay there. It wouldn't have to change everything.
Yes, but things change for the best. You may not always understand at first, but if you're willing, in time, you will. Now I'm going to get started on some bannock, so scoot outside while the morning still wants to see you.
The morning sun greeted her from the east, as Kokum said he would. She ran to the outdoor swinging sofa that Kokum liked to take her naps on, and with a big humph, plopped down. Swinging back and forth, Minosis looked up and around the backyard. Empty, and no fun.
She heard voices a few houses down and knew the other neighborhood kids were playing. Part of her wanted to run and ask to play too, but another part felt bad, sad, and mad that her mom had left her behind.
Minosis gets off the swing.
What if Mama forgets me here? What if Kokum forgets that I'm a little kid and starts taking me to bingo? Ugh, I don't want it. I didn't ask for it. I just want to go back to the way it was at my own house, in my own room, with my own toys and books, and with my own mama. I hate change.
She flinched at a loud barking coming from the neighbor's yard.
Why is he always barking at me? That dog scares me.
She shut her eyes against the images in her mind of red gums and sharp drooling teeth. Not even looking in the direction of the barking, she put her dangling legs up and drew her knees up to her chin. Crouching that way, she hugged herself and grew quiet.
4.
What her grandmother had said about meeting new friends in the neighborhood tugged at Minosis. She craved a friend.
How can I tell Kokum I don't want to make new friends because they always find out I'm native?
At school, she had made some friends, but then just before school broke out for the summer, something had happened that had changed all that. During recess at the swings, some of the kids were talking about favorite family foods.
I love pizza.
I love spaghetti.
I love gelato.
I love cipolli.
That's a funny word. What's Zapoli?
Meaning, you don't know what a cipolli is? How can you be Italian and not know cipolli is like a donut?
Well, I am not Italian. I am Métis.
You're not 18.
No, like half native. Minnie is short for my Cree name, Minosis. It means kitten.
The swings fell silent. It was like looking at a herd of deer caught in headlights. Nobody said anything to her, but a few girls started whispering to each other and darting glances at her. When her mother asked how her day at school was, Minosis mumbled,
I'm tired. I just want to go to my room.
But in her room, she was afraid there was so much of the school year left, and she cried herself to sleep.
In the east, yellow, earth. Scene 5.
Later in the yard, the memory stung deeper as Minosis blurted out,
Why'd I open my big mouth? I hate being native.
Minosis felt her face get hot and her eyes hurt when she spoke those last words out loud. She looked down at a tear that had fallen on her eyelash. The sunlight through her tear looked just like a twinkling star.
Can you make a wish on something that just looks like a star?
Her heart sank, hoping for a friend.
she heard something before she could see it with her eyes. It caught her fancy, as its bright yellows and sharp electric blues fluttered to the east of the yard. She followed it as it flew careless in a dream. The butterfly shot up from its meandering, flying right up to her nose and swirling around her face. Minosis saw the glorious creature. It was so fast and full of radiance as it flew into Kokum's garden.